what goes on in most people's lives. Let's try this here. I want you to clap once. Okay, clap once is once, okay? Come on, let's do it together. 3, 4, go. Do you think this is your best? No. Can you do a better job than this? Yes. Let's do it again. 3, 4. Do you think this is your best? No. Can you do a better job than this? Yeah, I want you to give it your best shot. Imagine that you've been clapping for like 20 years. This is the last clap of your life. You're not going to get this opportunity. इसके बाद ताली बजाने का मौका नहीं मिलेगा. How good do you want this to be, okay? So with that in mind, on your marks, come on. It has to be the best one. हाथ खोलने तो बराबर वाले. आप ताली बजानी है. इतना ना खोलने के संभालना से. और बंद करे तो हाथों में तकलीफ रहनी चाहिए. Okay, give it your best shot ever. Okay, I want. You're getting into it too soon. You've got to wait a little, you know. Let it come. Okay, I want you to give it your best shot and surprise yourself with this. Ever had that moment कि आपने कोई काम किया उसके बाद आपको I was able to do it. But like you surprise yourself with it. Okay, so with that intention, you're giving it your best shot and you're blowing this auditorium away. Come on, 3, 4, go. Maybe that moment will come again, maybe never, but that's okay. But I still need to get up and give it my best shot every time around. That's what life is for me. But for most people, as I've come across, they're okay with one. They don't even know what 2 is. क्योंकि कभी सीखा नहीं, क्योंकि कभी किसी ने बताया नहीं. सब पहली ताली पे खुश हैं, क्योंकि जिंदगी गुजर रही है. जब कारोबार बंद होता है, जब नहीं गुजरती जिंदगी, जब नहीं होते माँ बाप खिलाने वाले, जब नहीं होती सहूलत, उस वक्त इंसान सोचता है. And even at 3, let me give you a quick analogy. Anyone who has an aquarium at home? Yeah, do you have goldfish there? What is the size of the goldfish? About this, okay? Anybody else? इससे बड़ा size? इससे बड़ा नहीं? This is the standard goldfish size in an aquarium, yeah? Now take that goldfish and throw it into a river. किनाल की बात करते हैं ना नॉर्मली. जो रास्ता पूछो आगे किनाल चले. जहाँ जाना है आपने बस किनाल से उसका रास्ता जरूर जाता होगा. Every रास्ता इस किनाल, उसको जरा किनाल में फेंके, you'd be surprised that that fish would grow 5 times the size. वो 5 गुना बड़ी हो जाती है, वो 10 गुना बड़ी हो जाती है. यानी अगर मछली को कप में रखो वो जिंदगी गुजार देगी, लेकिन उस कप के साइज से बड़ी नहीं हो सकती. A tank will never exceed, a fish will never exceed the tank size. जिस तरह मछली अपने कप से बड़ी नहीं होती, इस तरह इंसान अपनी सोच से बड़ा नहीं होता. You will never grow bigger than what you think you can. That's the law of thinking. Now for most of us, and I've been giving this example, it's like I'm in a mohalla and there are like 5 girls there, and I like the one who's of course the best of all, and I sort of approach her and I get her. Yeah? Happens? You get her and next day, this goes up and you're like, cool, you know what? I have the hottest chick in town. Yeah? And you're like, आप इस भरम से चल रहे हैं और सब कुछ सीन मोहल्ले के और लड़के आके कह रहे हो उमैर भाई प्लीज यार मेरी भी सेटिंग यार प्लीज यार. एंड उमैर भाई becomes a love guru और मैं तुझे बताता हूँ पता है तूने क्या करना. नहीं SMS बिल्कुल नहीं. एक क्लास नोट्स की बात कर सकते हो तुम. So Umair becomes a love guru and is guiding, and whatever nonsense is happening, then Umair is sent out, let's say, to Lumps for an event. And when he goes to Lumps, when beauty becomes better, and when tights become tighter, or even better, when he goes on an international trip, these collars come down, and you're like, oh, मैंने तो दुनिया ही नहीं देखी. I have not seen anything, because my exposure was limited. It was like a fish in a cup. जिस तरह कहते हैं ना कुएं का मेंढक, जब उसको समुद्र में फेंको तो उसको अंदाजा होता है कि और क्या क्या मौजूद है. So we are okay operating in that cup. I'm challenging your limits here and I can top it up with a quote here. But before that, very, very quickly, so that's what it is. My idea for today is for you to understand the frequency that I function on. What have I learned about entrepreneurship? Because please understand, you study great entrepreneurs, you look at Richard Branson. Richard Branson is somebody, बैठा हुआ है, flight delayed है. फ्लाइट डिलेड है तो सामने चार्टर्ड फ्लाइट एक दिख रही है तो वो कहता है अच्छा बॉस ये कितने की चार्टर होगी. उसको प्राइस पता चलती है तो कहता है कितने पैसेंजर्स जा सकते हैं. पैसेंजर्स डिवाइड्स आके बताता है लोगों को. अब डिपार्चर लाउंज के अंदर लोगों को कहता है कि अच्छा तुम्हारी फ्लाइट तो डिलेड है लेकिन मेरे पास ये जहाज खड़ा हुआ है और इतने पैसे लगेंगे अगर तुम अभी जाना चाहते हो. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू आर विद मी? Hands go up, he takes them on, and that's how Virgin Atlantic was launched. An airline. You will see entrepreneurs like him. You will see entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs जो कि लड़ रहे हैं कि इसमें जो ये टांका लगाया है मदरबोर्ड पे ये सही नहीं है. उसका साथी कहता है मदरबोर्ड साला कौन खोल के देखता है? वो कहता है कोई ना खोल के देखे. कोई ना खोल के देखे, लेकिन I am a good carpenter. I'll use the same wood inside as I've used outside. Like Steve Jobs, like Richard Branson, and many others. But they were great because they did what nobody else did. So you can't be great by doing what they did. Because they're great because they did what nobody else did. So you can't follow them and be great. For being great, you have to find your own voice. You have to find your own calling. तुम्हारा खौफ ये नहीं है कि तुम नाअहल हो, तुम्हारा खौफ ये है कि तुम ताकतवर हो और इंतहा ताकतवर. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. ये तुम्हारे अंदर का अंधेरा नहीं है, तुम्हारे अंदर की रोशनी है जो तुम्हें डराती है. Look at this now. 1, 2, 3. What Marianne Williamson is saying, she's saying, you don't do 3 not because you can't do it, but because you can do it. But what you are bothered by is कि अगर 3 कर लिया तो उसके बाद क्या करूँगा? So it is not the darkness in you, it's the light in you that scares you. We ask ourselves, and while you think about this, again a spiritual interpretation wherein the author says, we are born to make manifest the glory of God. जब अच्छा काम करते हो तो लोग क्या कहते हैं? Business Week team, where are you? Yeah, what would you like to hear from people after this event? क्या लफ्ज़ कहेंगे? लोग कैसे तारीफें करते हैं? It went very well. Like the most boring way of getting a pin. It went well. What else?
So organized.
It was organized. It was awesome. Yes. कोई पंजाबी अंदाज? बहुत आला. शाबाश. और कोई? छा गए. चल के पढ़ ले, कमाल हो गया. Whatever it is. But for me, how I define my work as an entrepreneur, as a leader of my own domain, very small domain, is that when people look at your work and they say Subhanallah. It sounds very dull and boring because Subhanallah doesn't interest you. It's like those uncles who walk into the family and say Subhanallah, MashaAllah, everything. But what does Subhanallah mean? It means that your work is so good, I can only imagine what is the work of your Creator. We are born to make manifest the glory of God. So I'm standing here, right here. There could be two niyatim. I'm not sure which one is it. It could be, I'll have an audience once again. I will rock this hall and I'll get appreciation. I'll get like a lot of wall posts. I'll get a lot of following. That could be one intent. I'm not sure if my intent is that. But the other intent could be that I'll speak in a way, I'll talk in a way, I'll behave in a way that people look at my behavior and it becomes ibadat for them. If my life can become that, if our words can become that, if our behaviors can become that, it's amazing. We are born to make manifest the glory of God. You want to do it with photography? Capture the finest details. Do it. You want to play a guitar? Pick it up. Do it. But people should listen to it and be blown away and say, oh, you know what? That's transcendence. That's Subhanallah. It could be a painting which could do that. It could be literature which could do that. It could be a scientific finding which could do that. Whatever it is, that will come from you. That can't come from anybody else. But that's what this line means. Very, very powerful.